Bake car, straight talk, straight talk, straight talk.
My name is Claudia Tesserin Campbell, and I am the president of the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. Welcome to These Three Things. You don't know what it is about. Usually once per month, usually on the last Saturday of the month, we come to you live to discuss three things. Three things that stick in our craw, that either made us happy or made us angry or just somewhere in between. And so we here, the directors of the Daughters of Sheba Foundation come, and each of us choose one such topic and we discuss.
Answer, I'm dancing, I'm all in my zone. James Brown, dumb hard, cakewalk, joyride, bake car, straight talk, straight talk, straight talk, straight talk, dumb hard, cakewalk, joyride, bake car, straight talk, straight talk, straight talk, straight talk. Check a flag waving, green light flashing, all of you see it's gold. Hey, whip my wrist, my whip got hits, I whipped up this my stove. Hey, shoot like this you get when you subscription HBO. Hey, misfit with the shoes, too slick to slip up, slip they throw. On the lay, right at they next and
Hi, good evening. How are you? Welcome to these three plus things. It used to be three things, but we decided that we needed more drama. So we got somebody else to join us each month. So now we rotate between my namesake Claudette and Colleen. So 1 month it's Colleen, 1 month it's Claudette. So this month, August 2024, we have with us Claudette. Hi Claudette, how are you?
I'm good.
Great.
Good.
Great. Thanks for joining us as always. And of course, there is Clara, Director Secretary of the Daughters of Sheba Foundation, and Gloria. Thank you, ladies. You guys always have me on pins and needles, because when you're producer, cook, bottle washer, floor sweeper, and then you don't see the bosses, you wonder, what the heck? I can be the presenter too at the same time, so where are the big bosses? So here they are, folks. Gloria Rose Saunders is our director. Oh, no, forgive me. The biggest boss is here, and it is Corella. Hi, Corella, how are you? Thanks for joining us this evening. And we have, Jenny C is here. Sorry, Janice, I always mess up your name. I don't know if it's Jenny C or if it is Janice. Jay is here. Hi, my darling. Jay lives in Jamaica, and only recently after the Hurricane Beryl, Jay got back her light. So she has been, her power, as we say here in Canada, she's been missing in action. And on YouTube, we have Colleen watching us from YouTube. Colleen is our dearest support. She is support, secondary head cook. So like when I can't cook, Colleen will cook. So like Colleen is taking care of YouTube tonight, interacting with whoever joins us on YouTube. So welcome everybody. These three things is one of the several programs that we do here at the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. The Daughters of Sheba Foundation is a Canadian registered non-profit organization. I can't believe that I had this conversation just today to explain to somebody that we are not a charity. And they said to me, oh, it's the same thing, in Jamaica. I said, this is not Jamaica. We're not a charity. In order for us to be a charity, we would have to go one step further. Charities are able to issue tax receipts. So when somebody donates money to a charity, you issue them a tax. Gloria is a bank manager. You issue them a tax receipt, and when they're filing their taxes at the end of the year, they can claim it as a donation. It's the same way with political campaigns. If you donate to political, at least here in Canada, you can write it off on your tax. So for us to be a charity, you have to go to the next level of the process, which one day I hope we will. But when we started out 4 years ago, we did not want to go through that process. So we are a nonprofit foundation. Because of the name foundation, people think it's a charity. Foundation does not mean charity. It's not the same. It's more like an association. Anyway, because the person who said that to me today, I thought would be somebody more in the know. I said, you know what, let me just use this opportunity to once again say we are not a charity. We are not a charity. Anyway, we've been around for 4 years, and this is what, and this is what we do. We provide educational, informative information. We women-centered information. Even with this program, these three things that comes once a month at the end, towards the end of the month, we try to focus on things in the news or make a connection to things on social media news or mainstream media that has a woman element. Our mission is to promote woman empowerment, the true meaning of woman empowerment. Should I start? Should I go there? Should I go there? No? Don't go there? Okay. All right. You don't want to get me excited tonight? Okay. Gloria is having some internet problems, so she goes in and out. So when she comes back, we're supposed to be getting started with Gloria's story. So what we do is each of us choose one story or two that is woman related, that has made the news throughout the month, and we discuss it, and each of us give our feedback on the stories. We have some really interesting ones tonight, and Gloria is gone. So we were going to be starting with Gloria, and I had that all lined up, but now let me switch and go to somebody else. So give me a moment here. Claudette, you want to go first? Because you have two stories anyway, just so people know that we are
No, not first.
Well, Gloria is back. Gloria is back. Okay. So we're going to get started with Gloria. Gloria also has two stories, but they're linked. Claudette, two stories are not linked. But we try to take stories from across the world as well, because the Daughters of Sheba Foundation, although we're Canadian based and we started out doing most of our work in our interactions in Jamaica, we earlier this year made a decision to be more inclusive of women all over. And funny enough, since doing that, our audience shot up, and our audience is now 50. The last time I checked, which was about 2:30 this morning, was 53%. It's 53% American. So some of our stories will come out of the States. We have another huge chunk of people from Kenya in Africa, from Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa. Those are the three main countries in Africa. So without further ado, let me bring up Gloria's story. Okay, and Gloria, I have one. Oh, sorry, I have the wrong thing. I don't know what is that I'm sharing. Present. And I want to talk about this one. Why is it? Oh, that's the so where is it? I thought I lined them all up. I'm just seeing the so Gloria, introduce your story while I try to find it. I'm sorry for that, ladies.
Okay, my story tonight is about Alison Felix. She is an American athlete, multi-Olympian for
Gloria, your mic is a bit low.
Oh, yeah, she's a bit low. Thanks for pointing this out.
I can't go any higher.
Okay, you just probably need to sit closer to the...
It's right there.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so multi-Olympian, several gold medals for Olympics, World Champions, you name it, she's done it. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. And the reason why I'm mentioning Alison is because after she had her first child, as this picture is showing, a picture of herself and her daughter, she had a very difficult pregnancy with her first child, and she had to take a break from her athletics for quite a while. And she got a really huge pushback from her sponsor then. I won't say who it was, but she had a huge issue with her then sponsor and had to take action against them, legal action against them to support her during her pregnancy and her subsequent recovery. And so she did. I'm not sure if other female athletes have done it. I couldn't find any other articles to support it, but maybe they have. But she was one of the only female athletes I can think of in recent times who have taken this on to say that they are being treated unfairly once they enter motherhood. The treatment that they're meted out is quite unfair, not only by the fraternity, but also by the sponsors. And so I wanted to speak about that this evening.
Are you just
Dr.
talking about when you say athletes, or do you mean just track and field? Because I think footballers had the same complaint, female
I'm not
footballers.
sure if they do. Maybe they did. Maybe you can
Back in the States,
educate me on that.
no, I think female footballers, there were at least one I can recall. Maybe somebody in the comments will know. I think there were female footballers who had the same issue.
Okay. I tried to see if there were any other female athletes who highlighted this. I couldn't see anything, but she actually did a full story, like a tell-all in a prominent magazine to say what her experience was and how badly she was treated, and the action she had to take to seek to get the assistance that she needed, and to force the sponsors to support her as they should have, as stated by law, because legal really they were doing what they were doing was against the law in the eyes of what should be done. So she fought that battle, she won, she went off to do her own actually produce her own sneakers as a result of that for other women who had the same issue.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and she has been highlighting it. She came back into athletics after her daughter came again, won more medals again, but she took up a new banner. She was now fighting for female athletes who had kids basically and was not supported or are not being supported as they should. She decided to be the spokesperson for that cause.
Yeah, I did find an article as you were talking, and I don't want to take away from what you're saying because it's very important. But I don't know if you want me to share it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so let me stop sharing this and see if I can pull it up. Give me a second here. There are actually quite a few.
Okay.
Oh, you see now? Okay, so of course she's the headliner.
Yes.
Yeah. And then here it says about Kimani Fasani, who she lost her mom, and then she found out I'm not going through all of it. Then she found out she was pregnant, and she didn't want to tell anyone. But then the rumors came out, and then she had a problem from her sponsor. I'm not going to focus on who the sponsors are. The next one was that there's this Alicia Montana was 8 months pregnant when same problem. It says here, how has becoming a mom changed their income? And this was from 2000. This is an ESPN thing, and we do not own copyright for this. I'm just saying, but their income changed. 41, half and half, 41% at that time, 2018 said that their income changed, 41 said it didn't, and only 16% saw an increase thing. And this story is talking about Felix, but so I know she's not the only one.
She's been
she's been the poster girl now.
Yes, because she decided to take it to court, and she decided to push as much as she can, not only on her behalf, but also for the other female athletes.
Hi, Elba. It's nice to see you. I'm guessing you got the notification. You didn't get it on Saturday. Glad to have you here. Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. And then this, as a follow-on to that, the second part of the story is now leading to the fact that now she has retired from active sports as an athlete, and she's now taken it further. She has now been nominated as the IOC Athletes representative. She's a member of the Athlete Commission for the International Olympic Association. She's now the athlete representative. She was voted unanimously by her peers. So other athletes voted her to represent them on the commission as their representative. And she is now one of the
Nice.
new members come August 2024. She's a new member on the committee. What she
Nice.
did recently for the Paris Olympics, she lobbied to have a daycare established, the first ever since the Olympics was established. They had a daycare set up for the athletes and the Olympic employees.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So they had first time ever they had a daycare on the site.
Cara, I know you are huge into track and field, due to you started from he was in the pram, you started training Jared in track and field. So any thoughts on this from you?
Well, I am an avid admirer of Alison Felix, and she's an adopted Jamaican. She has no Jamaican connection, but she is well loved by Jamaica and the world, the international community. A stalwart in her own right. She's one of the most decorated female athletes, and the highlight of her advocacy this year was the setting up of it's more than a daycare. It was like a maternity ward, because those young mothers they were able to travel with their babies, and they had like breastfeeding booths and that kind of thing. I don't know how you're going to participate in the Olympics and still breastfeeding, but these are like 19 and 20-year-olds, so their body is made up differently. But the work that she has done since her fallout with this sponsors has been
phenomenal.
Well, she was vocal, and that particular sponsor also treated our own Shellyan with
okay.
with this
Impunity.
was disgraceful to say. Yeah. But what she has done through her advocacy is legendary, as she is a legend.
This is why
kudos
I
to her.
insist.
Kudos to her.
Yeah. This is why I insist that, we always find a female angle, because there's always a female angle. Sometimes it's positive, but unfortunately, more often than not, it's not so positive in the sense of what happened. She has turned it into a positive, obviously, in terms of her advocacy work and the successful outcome, as you're saying, even at the last Olympics with the maternity ward that she managed to have installed. Congratulations, and this is an American, but she's a woman first and foremost, as far as we are concerned, as far as we care. Do you have anything on this, Claudette? Not myself. I'm talking to Claudette Squared. Or you're not that much into athletics, Claudette?
I can't see her.
I can see the top. Oh, hold on. I didn't put her on. Sorry. I'm so sorry, Claudette. Did you have anything to add to this?
Yes, I was saying she is not only a woman, but she's a Black woman. Another strong, powerful, resilient woman.
We're always doing it. We all the responsibility seems to always fall on us, eh?
Yes. So kudos to her that what she's doing is great. She's showing women that not because they have a baby that their whole life has ended, whatever career, especially the track and field, even though others may see differently. So, I love her for it.
Can I do a little segue here for a few minutes? Please indulge me, but it's Claudette's fault, not mine, but my namesake's fault. She said something just now about not because you have a baby that means your life is over, and that is so true, because I've heard there is some. We have an international audience here, and so I don't want to get too Jamaican in my speech, but there's a cas going on, which is a quarrel, a drama going on in the Jamaican community and diaspora with a popular local Jamaican local celebrity, and they call her Miss Kitty. She's now Mrs. Wilkinson, and another
lawyer.
And a lawyer, and another Jamaican woman who migrated from Jamaica not so long ago to the country that I've been a citizen of for 22 years, decided that she's going to do her TikTok solely on Miss Kitty. And part of her problem with Miss Kitty is that Miss Kitty has returned to work, had the audacity to return to work with her baby being 3 months old. And she was even further had the audacity not to show the public her child's face. Now, on the latter, I say kudos to you, Miss Kitty.
I might interject there, Claudette,
yeah.
And quarreling that Miss Kitty, what is Miss Kitty doing with so many jobs? What does she need so much money for? Hello, take a back seat.
You know, this lady, you know, I everybody knows that I'm all over social media watching and seeing what's going on and so forth. This lady, she can hardly speak properly. She claims that she's a counselor. I know she's not a psychologist. I live in Canada and I've been here for 22 years, and I was once in that field. So I know the process. She's not a psychologist, but she's on TikTok every day psychoanalyzing Miss Kitty about her marriage, about all of that. And it's disgraceful what she's doing. It is disgraceful.
Sister Claudette, what they call that is bad mind and grudgefulness.
There you have
and
it.
Dunce.
She's educated dunce. She's an educated dunce. And you can tell from her pronunciations and her language skills, you can know that she's an educated dunce. It's something that I studied. She's illiterate
as they come.
And
I don't even know why people do the time of day.
I'm sorry to have taken us there, but because of what she said, Claudette, about having a child does not stop you from living a full life. You know, most women go back to work after their child is 3 months. Why? Because you're a celebrity or an athlete. You should not have the same opportunity. If you want to stay off a year, you stay off a year. If you want to stay off 3 months, that's your prerogative. And so it's kudos to Alex, but I just wanted to make that link, you know, that sometimes it's not the men who give us a hard time. It's our own bad mind sisters.
Thank you. Grudgeful, bad mind and grudgeful.
And hey, I am no fan of Miss Kitty, but as they say, I know her husband, but I'm no fan of Miss Kitty. Never have been. I don't have no problem with the lady, but as them say, I'm splitting justice. As somebody who is sensible. Yes. And as Jenny says, it sounds like jealousy.
Several females.
If you followed Miss Kitty from where she's coming from,
I followed
that
her.
Woman is a very ambitious woman.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
and
where she came from, and she's now a lawyer. She's married. She has a child. I mean, she has gone through
she living her best life
to be where she is, and she is to be admired.
And her trajectory is no different from most other professional women.
Miss Kitty is living her best life, and they're grudgeful. That's the bottom line. They're grudgeful because Miss Kitty not out there anymore doing what she used to do, or she's doing it differently. And
right.
people don't like to see when you change. They don't like to see when you change, and they don't like to see. And Miss Kitty has always been outspoken on
Yes.
women's issues about the need for education, and this is why I like her. I will support her because we talk
Yes.
about education, we talk about women's empowerment. The only way you're going to be a truly empowered woman is by where's my notes? What did the three things that Dr. Sue recently told us as far as she's concerned to be considered an empowered woman is education.
Know your worth.
There you are, knowing your worth and being financially able. No, Miss Kitty, we are talking about. No, Miss Kitty, we are
Yes.
talking about. She's
And she
educated,
did it
she
all.
knows her worth, and she's financially able. Oh, no, come on, oh, no, go and left the woman alone. Okay. Back to our international audience.
Yes.
That is the side of me that you don't often see, except when I meet up with these women. These are the people who drag me down. These three women. They bring out the worst in me. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, folks, for indulging me a while ago. Let us move on. Who are we going? Who are going to next? I've completely forgotten where we're going.
It's Clara.
It's Clara. Okay, let me bring up Clara's story. So give me a moment here, folks.
Dumb hard, cakewalk, joyride, bake car, straight talk, straight talk, straight talk.
My name is Claudia Tesserine Campbell, and I am the president of the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. Welcome to These Three Things. You don't know what it is about. Usually once per month, usually on the last Saturday of the month, we come to you live to discuss three things that stick in our craw, that Okay, so obviously it's not a Saturday, it's a Tuesday. We changed it so we only come live, just so everybody knows. If we're coming live, usually it's on a Tuesday. So Karela is saying, Karela, please let us calm down because this other one that Clara is going to talk about might just. So no, Claudette, it is they who draw you out. I agree. Okay, so we're going to Clara's story, and Clara's story is a Jamaican story, but it has an international tinge, and it will affect all of us as women, wherever in the world you are. So, Clara, would you like to introduce your story, please?
Well, that happens to be the follow-up story to the main one, which also has to do with mpox, monkeypox, and because we cry out, they call it mpox. So in August 16th, I think, the WHO has declared an outbreak of mpox, and this is now regarded as a global emergency. Of course, the outbreak started in Africa, like most of them, except for
No.
COVID.
The other one started in China. Sorry.
I said except for COVID.
Oh, okay. SARS started in China.
we have.
Listen, we have an African audience. Please be mindful.
The Ebolas of this. Yes. So a global emergency has now been declared by the World Health Organization, and just 2 weeks ago, Sweden declared their first case. I have not, even though I've been following up, I have not heard of any other country which has identified an active case or any active cases. But I think the WHO is moving perhaps a little proactively, as they don't want to be caught with their
undies down. Them draws down.
Or caught with their their pants down.
The long johns now.
And yeah, long johns for people like you, Claudette, who just start getting cold. I'm still wearing short sleeve and sleeveless. And will perhaps do so till January. Um, Now the question that is on my mind on the and Jamaica has through the Ministry of Health has indicated that we are prepared to deal with mpox if it comes our side. But more concerning to me is, can we handle another outbreak of a very contagious disease? And when I say we, I mean global. Some systems are seeing new strains of COVID. In fact, in July, we reported a 17% increase in cases of COVID. And we can well understand that with the celebrations and the entertainment and the increase in travel, it is concerning. On top of that, can we, as the universe, handle another pandemic? I don't think so. How can we prevent it? COVID took us by surprise, and it took us 4 years of our lives that some of us can't give an account for. But we don't have the luxury of time to equip ourselves to fight another outbreak of some disease that is transmitted cross borders, through borders, interconnections, and it's
But
another
Clara,
sting.
just to interject here, do we have a choice at this stage but to handle it as best as we can?
Yeah, we can handle it, and handle it we must. But how are we going to fare is another because economies, health organization systems are just able to raise their heads up from COVID-19, and it's just a concern.
How you feel about this,
It's just a
Gloria?
concern.
Any news? Any news out? Oh, where is she? Any news out of Great Britain where you have strong ties?
No, except for the WHO's proclamations, that's the only thing that they have been focused on. As Clara pointed out, a lot of the health services worldwide, they are still struggling to recover from the coronavirus pandemic. And Britain falls spank right in the middle of that recovery process. They are struggling to recover. My kids are in the system, so I know the challenges that they face. And even with the recent elections, that's one of the mandates that the new Prime Minister has to work on in terms of the National Health Service and the huge challenges they are facing. So I know for a fact that if anything else comes their way, that's going to be it. They will not be able to handle it. I'm not sure where else. I know Jamaica, we too are struggling. But because our system is more largely private, I don't think we're struggling as much at the moment. But if anything should come, I know for a fact that it will be very, very challenging. And I think that's going to be the case worldwide, because everybody's still trying to recover, especially the health services from the recent pandemic.
Sorry, I've got distracted. Any thoughts? Oh, Colleen is saying on YouTube, yes, COVID is still around, dengue killing some. No, mpox is added is the added problem. Jamaica said they have limited vaccines. Okay.
Yeah, just for those persons contracted.
Yeah, it's not
But
been a yes, go ahead. Go ahead,
my
Claudette.
question is, where are all these things coming from? Every year something else pops up. Where is it coming from? It just come out of the blue like that? Or
Very
are
good
we just
question. Good
being
question.
infected by
You
some
don't know what
certain
Claudette ever say, I
entities
gotta do
to
it.
make money? To make money?
Oh, okay. She's not saying it's God. She's not saying it. Okay, so you're saying it's man-made, Claudette. You're wondering if
I
it's
would
man-made.
think so. Every year, I mean, as you said, we're not even recovered from COVID and so many deaths. And now you're telling us the SARS and monkeypox, and I mean,
Oh, careful how you
come
said
on,
it.
man.
The M word there, my dear, because Clara, you seem to be very invested as always in stories that you bring to us. Do you have a response to Claudette about are these things being done by billionaires to become trillionaires or what?
That's one of the, what to call it?
Conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy theories that I
Mm-hmm.
never buy into. I don't know if it's because I am led by my thought process is led by science and the involvement of quite a few persons with whom I interact. But it's not new. It's not new. They might have different strains and variants and all of that, and they're all. I don't
Coming
think
from the
that
lab.
they are new. They just don't come out of somewhere. They were always there. It's just that with the opening of the global economy and people traveling
Yeah.
cross borders, and that is what caused this spread.
That I will totally agree with that.
I mean, a flight from the west to the other hemisphere is 10 hours. So in 10 hours, the whole thing
Hear the
just
conspiracy theorists that we have in our midst here now. Colleen, she's saying the pharmaceutical companies always smile in times like these. Oh, them they milked us through COVID. They milked us through COVID.
Can I just say something on the
Yes,
right?
please.
Just to say, to address Claudette's question about why these things appear. So from a little biology background that I did, I know for a fact that the mpox is from the family of chickenpox. And so what these viruses do is mutate over the years. They change in different ways, different how they infect. They mutate over the years. And just like the COVID, where they had different variants as the years go by. The same thing with the poxes. And they said the mpox is from the family of chickenpox. So it's similar to chickenpox, but there are certain differences to the chickenpox,
and
why they have
similar to
renamed it.
smallpox as well.
Right. So they have just given it a new name because of the various differences it has shown. It has shown different differences to the chickenpox. So they've decided to give it a new name.
And as Clara for sure knows, I don't indulge in this illness and ting talk, but what doesn't our not our when I say our I mean globally, our hygiene practices or lack thereof have some contribution to the spread of these illnesses, no?
Fundamentally, yes.
Okay.
We're
But I
Yes,
just
think it's
getting
sir.
I think
nastier.
it's airborne as well.
Okay.
My
I think
my
yeah.
theory is that we have scientists. They would have
So our
samples
face
of
pick up.
various various chicken pox and all these other things that we usually have, they would have it. It can, I'm sure they will know ways of keeping it alive where they could just come up with different variant of these things to make it see. That is my theory, and that is something that I can't
let go.
just get rid of. That this is all these things are coming out of labs.
No, I don't believe so, because even with the signs that we have and the backative from signs that we have, we thought that we had gotten rid of malaria through vaccine. We thought that we had gotten rid of, there was one that resurfaced the other day, and people are saying, but I thought we had eradicated that. But as Claudette indicated, we have become less hygienic because we get caught up in the shortcut methods instead of making sure that we fix our meals properly. We eat from any and anywhere. We buy food that is not even prepared under hygienic circumstances, because we're just moving and not spending enough time. Even take, for example, the challenge that these systems have in saying to people, get the vaccine, get the COVID vaccine. It might not prevent you from getting, but it also allows you to heal quicker or offer some protection. And then there were the cynics who not touching it because they do this or do that.
Yeah. So we have our comment section is quite active on this. So Sharon Francis Berry, hi, welcome. First time I'm seeing your name. I was saying today that I'm getting to know names now of repeat supporters who, so thank you, Sharon. Thank you. Welcome. So Sharon says that vaccine in the day used to eradicate these things. Now they're being released on people. Big pharma getting richer. I think you'll find Claudette will agree with you on that.
Thank you.
Claudette totally agrees with that. And Genesee said, Jay, my girl Jay, is saying health challenges will happen, but we all need to take the changes more seriously and apply the health practices that is best for us. Simple thing as wearing your mask when necessary, even the way we eat, what we put inside our bodies. And Clara, I'm sure, agrees with that. I'm not hearing a hippie hooray from you, Clara. And then Sharon came back to say, the more vaccine, the more variants. And I agree with that because as I think it was Gloria who was saying, this thing mutate, whatever it is, it's going to mutate. It's like with taking antibiotics. You notice that, like, I was ill the other day. I'm generally always ill, but anyway, I was ill the other day and went to the doctor, and she said to me she was giving me a low-grade antibiotics. If it didn't work, then they will give me out, because the idea is they don't want your body to fight it off or whatever. So I agree with Sharon on that it's the same thing with vaccines. The more you vaccinate with vaccine number one, time going to pass and it's going to mutate. As Gloria said, I failed the biology, and you're going to need vaccine number two. And so it goes on and on and on until humankind is extinct. Hold on. Carella says a lot of persons don't take the necessary precautions, as during COVID, persons didn't even care if they got it or spread to someone else. Pretty much like how some people did with HIV/AIDS, right? HIV. So yeah. So it's a mixture of things going on here. Colleen says that hygiene is not the main problem. Okay. When growing up, we used to play in the dirt and never catch any of those things. Only the common cold and worm. So I do believe we are just test subjects. Claudia, so you have another supporter here in Colleen. She's saying that she believes that we are test subjects. And I agree with some parts of the first part. I don't know about the second part, about the test subject part. She says, she goes on to say, our air, water, food quality all have deteriorated. And that's a GMO effect, is it not? Gloria, with your science.
Pollution, environmental pollution. If you realize during COVID and we had lockdown, how clean the air was. There was less vehicles on the road, less aircraft, less everything. It's the environmental pollution.
So we're basically killing off ourselves.
Yep.
Oh, I thought you were saying.
Okay. All right, Clara. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for bringing another perspective to our conversation. One comment before we move on. Sharon says, we're the test tube. Oh my God. You guys are gonna don't make me cynical, please. I beg you no. All right, so we're gonna move on to our third story of the night, which is, well, it's really the fourth, which is mine. And so just a quick break here and I'll bring that up.
Dumb hard, cakewalk, joyride, bake car, straight talk.
My name is Claudia Tesserin Campbell, and I am the president of the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. Welcome to These Three Things. You don't know what it is about. Usually once per month, usually on the last Saturday of the month, we come to you live to discuss three things that stick in our craw, that item. And this one's stuck in many people's craw, still stuck in them craw, and worse yet, he seems to be has taken social media by storm. What you say, Clara? He seems to have taken social. What?
Stuck in holy people craw, but one brave among us.
Wait, sorry, go again.
I said, there's one brave among us who will expose their craw and the stick.
Who is that?
You. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, you mean I shouldn't talk about this? It's all that's
go right ahead.
You have nothing to say. No, I'm in Canada.
You're the brave one. I don't want to expose my craw as it relates to this subject.
Okay. And fair enough. And I'm not staying on it long. But as always, I am not here to debate whether Vibes Cartel was guilty of unaliving Lizard back 13 years ago. We're not here to do that. We're not here to say whether, at least I'm not, whether his wonderful attorney, who I don't know the young man, but I think if ever them haul my butt, because I shouldn't say that, but haul me, because I'm asking you please to do a GoFundMe and get Isaac Buchanan to defend me, because boy, he's a good lawyer. I'm not here to even discuss or debate that. My point in bringing up this story, and I could also have brought up a picture of Buju Banton being released.
That's a fair photo.
Huh? Yeah, it's from Billboard magazine. Yeah. I didn't want to scare our audience by, oh God, here I go.
Showing what he looks like now.
Be careful.
That's an imposter on the screen. That's an imposter on the screen.
Okay, full disclosure, folks. One of the many illnesses that Claudette has is grave disease. And it surprised me, I'm not going to lie, the effects that it had on him. But considering that he was in prison for so long, obviously not getting the medical attention he required and so forth. As far as I know, in my personal experiences, grave disease kind of, can you see me? My eyes kind of make your eyes bulge. Mine didn't. But it's one of the illnesses that I live with, and I take a pill for it every day. And Just the other day, my doctor reduced my dosage. So maybe he wasn't being managed properly. So that's why. But my reason for bringing this story up is not to discuss whether he was guilty or not guilty or whatever. But like Buju Banton prior to him, this story provides an opportunity for us to look at the complex relationship between celebrity status and the law, and how these high-profile cases kind of influence society's perception of the justice and the legal system. Like Buju Banton, Vybz Kartel, his case attracted massive media coverage. Up to even now, it's almost like there's a blackout on any other artists, including Buju Banton, since Vybz Kartel was released. And it begs the question: if you have to be high profile to get better legal representation. And as I was thinking about this, one high profile case came to mind, and it's of a woman. Always trying to find a woman link. Do you guys remember Phyllis Cord?
Yes.
Okay. So Phyllis Cord, for those who don't know, she was from Grenada. She was convicted as one of, they call it the Grenada 17. That was in my heyday of being in politics. For the unaliving of Maurice Bishop, who was it was a coup in Grenada, and so 17 of them, including Phyllis Cord, who was a wife of the deputy. I think her husband was the deputy prime minister of Grenada.
Yes, Bernard.
Right, Bernard. Right, and she was imprisoned. She was one of the 17 that was imprisoned, and my God, this lady eventually died of cancer. But this woman she was in prison in Grenada. They sent her to Jamaica for treatment for reasons and all of that. And no matter the public outcry to release her never happened. Never happened. And there were murky grounds, as well as in Vybz Kartel case, as was in Buju Banton's case, in terms of the procedure, the evidence and all of that. And she was never released. That's why I say I want Izat if anything happened to me, because Izat found the what you call it? Chain link. The loophole, that's the word. He found a loophole in the law that assisted and was pivotal in getting Vybz Kartel released. And some would say similarly for Buju, in terms of him getting out and being even able recently to go back to the States, where many people, once you get kicked out of the States and for crimes, you can't go back. So for me, this story is about how women who are not high profile people, and even high profile women like Phyllis Cord, and maybe you guys know of others, who don't get this, who don't get this chance. Look at that woman in the States, the Epstein's girlfriend. What's her name? Epstein's girlfriend. What's his name? Yeah, well, who was unalived. He didn't take his life. Epstein didn't take his life. At least that is my conspiracy theory. But
I'm just saying that. It's what was reported, but we know otherwise.
Yes, we do. But there's this woman who they said was his right-hand woman, was a girlfriend at some point. She's still in prison, and the question is it because they are male, or is it because of their celebrity status, why the laws are bended even after spending 13 years or 10 years in prison for men? Any thoughts on this, ladies? This is my thing. I'm not even going to talk about people hugging up gunmen. Oh, I shouldn't say gunmen. People hugging up G-men in Jamaica. People in Jamaica like criminality, and that's why for all 13 years they've been advocating for him to be released. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you're a nobody, don't have Isaac Buchanan as your lawyer, and on top of it, a woman if you would have gotten out? What do you guys think?
I think it's a combination of things for him. I was not here during his heydays. I don't know much about him. I was away for most of his musical career. But I think he could afford it. I think he had the money, because the various appeals that he went through, the process, I think must have cost a lot of money. So I think he had money. And I think he had a bit of, a lot of support in all fields. Public, political. I think he had a lot of support.
Oh yeah, he had half of the country behind him.
Yes, I think that's in my mind, those two factors played a huge part in it.
But how do you explain? Because even recently, this young man was in what's the name of the country I'm thinking of? St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Which young man?
Well, he's almost 50, but don't you always say you young, Clara?
No, I didn't know you were talking, because refer to him by name. He's a celebrity.
No. My question is, so this is what he looks like now, folks. If this was a woman, and I brought up the example of Phyllis Cord, who was maybe even more well-known internationally, had the support of people not across the world asking, begging, pleading for her release, but she was never released. What does this mean for advocacy for women? Will people like Vybz Kartel and Buju Banton, having enjoyed the benefit of this opportunity, will they support women who are now incarcerated, who need a second chance? That's my question.
Yeah, but remember Phyllis Cord, if I recall correctly, that was in a different. We can't use a parallel for her. I would use her as a parallel because it was in a different time, and her circumstances was very volatile in terms of the whole coup thing. So they had to, they had to be dotting as they had to be very like stepping on hot stones.
So you don't think that Vybz Kartel is stepping on the situation is stepping on hot stones?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Yeah, I was in Jamaica visiting at the time of his court case and when he was declared guilty and was imprisoned. And trust me, this sense of relief for some people, a wide cross section of Kingston at the time I was in Kingston, that he was found guilty, that swept across various places in the country. I would say it was kind of similar, Gloria. Were you in the country when all of this was going on? Or you were
during the trial? Yes,
during the trial, you were? And what was your experience of it?
I didn't get very close to it, so I don't know. I don't know what the feel was. I didn't get very close to it. I don't know what the feel in the country. I didn't get close to the situation.
Okay. No. But, I mean, like I said, we can agree to disagree, but I personally feel that both him and Buju, their legal situation, their careers, it provide a rich opportunity for us to discuss the interplay between celebrity, their legal rights, societal issues, and advocacy. And even though, as you're all saying, you, Gloria, at least saying that there's no direct impact on women's advocacy, their cases, I feel, can provide a chance for us to discuss how the system treats high-profile figures and the implication this has on public perception. That is my point of bringing it up. So we'll move on because Clara never said nothing about this one. She mummies the word and parakeet.
I don't know enough. It's not in my radar. I don't know enough about him.
And like I said, I'm not discussing him. I'm discussing the legal system.
Mean, even I was just trying to refresh my memory with Phyllis Cord's thing, but yeah.
Moving right
I didn't come up
along,
with it.
we're going
Yeah,
to
yeah.
our last stories of the evening from Claudette. She has two stories. Good evening, Doreen. How are you? I know who you are. Good evening for joining us, and you're joining us on YouTube. Thanks for joining. So we're going to move on to our last two stories for the evening, and they're both from Claudette, and they're both local to Jamaica. But that doesn't mean you should go away, because it has implications for everyone in various ways, which we will discuss.
Dumb hard, cakewalk, joyride, bake car, straight talk, straight talk, straight talk.
My name is Claudia Tesserin Campbell, and I am the president of the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. Welcome to These Three Things. You don't know what it is about, usually once per month, usually. Okay, so without any further delay, bye, Janice says she has to sign off now. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Have a good night. So we're going to talk about Claudette brought up this story, and it's about the recent attacks and unaliving of people. I'm introducing it because I just want Claudette to be aware of not using certain words, or this live will not be broadcast on Facebook, at least.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So go ahead, Claudette.
This is of great concern because when someone can go into a setting with children, men, women, children, and just shoot up randomly, it is not something that you really want to hear about. And I mean, for so many persons to be dead, to be annihilated, and so many others injured, some seriously, including a baby who is still in the hospital. It really saddens you to say, what were these people thinking? Do they have any respect for
Really not.
life? Does life mean anything to them?
No.
No.
And it's really a sad situation. And when we think about what is it we as a country, as a people, can do to help for things like this not to happen. And I think we have to start with our little ones, and we have to go back to a village raising our children.
You know, Claudette, every
It
month
takes
you
a
come with the
village because
same with the same thing. I'm sorry to cut you because
yes,
a,
but
a while
I
ago,
know, but
oh, hold on, Claudette, hold on a second.
mhm,
A while ago, we were talking about a man, a celebrity, who was allegedly responsible for, let me say, disappearance of, yes, a known G-man in the country. And the country, the adults, not the children,
I know.
protested for almost 13
Hmm.
years for him to be released.
Mhm,
And when he was released 2 weeks ago, the adults, not the children,
mhm,
were waiting
mhm.
out at the general penitentiary, cheering. The adults are about to spend their money
Yeah,
on December 31st to
yeah.
go watch him perform.
Yes.
It's not the children.
Are you guys going?
You know, Claudette, want me to
I
tell her about
know,
what you
I
know.
know, I know the adults. I mean, the children don't have no role model, really.
They don't.
Um, the
At least
young
not role
people who
model
are
for
bringing
proper
up the
behavior.
children, they're leaving them alone. The children are just growing. They're not. What do you say? Them just not growing up. You have another word. Them just bring them up. You know, they want them to grow up fast, and so them have to grow up tough.
They're not training the children anymore because maybe
No,
they
no.
themselves weren't trained.
Exactly. And so, there was another incident at a
Yeah,
wake.
there was another one. Yeah,
Yes,
another
Chris
celebrity, and
Martin's
that was
grandmother's wake.
highlighted. Yeah, a celebrity's
Yes,
grandmother's wake was there. Was
yes, at a
so
wake.
Gloria. What you think about this, Gloria? What Claudette is saying. Not, of course, we're all saddened and heartbroken and all of that, and I'm not being sarcastic about this incident and the subsequent ones. But what Claudette is saying, that how to resolve or to start working on this is to teach your children. What are your thoughts?
I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't think that's anything to do with the children. I don't think it's a society. No, I don't think it's a society that we live in, and people are just cold and heartless now. And one of the persons who survived this specific shooting in Clarendon said, one of the gunmen said that they're here to kill everyone. That was what one of the man shouted and said into the crowd, "We're here to kill." I don't think that's anything to do. I don't think the children. I don't think that's anything to do with how we raise our children or anything. It's just a society that we live.
Clara?
There is this common thread where and it is noticeable with these incidents where the perpetrators are moving among us, and I use us generally as a mask, as a decoy. So they infiltrate innocent social gatherings or whatever it is. But the seekers of these perpetrators, whatever it is they are fighting over, just make up their minds and now has this mantra: if I can't catch Quaco, I catch him short.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this was a
And then
revenge killing? It was a revenge incident?
some gang looking for somebody. Here's him, I got it, so, and just go down and ready to take out everybody. Wipe out the whole crowd.
Gloria, somebody saying hi to you, Abdullah Ali. Do you know that person?
Same thing with the incident with Chris's grandmother.
Chris Martin. Yeah, what happened there? What meaning? I don't need the replay of the incident, but what's the motive?
It wasn't well, it was close by. So the person that they were seeking was spotted close by. I don't know if he was on his way to the wake to go mingle and play domino and get free food. And just go after him.
People keep on asking me, when am I coming to Jamaica? And God know I really want to come for my 60th birthday. Folks, I'm 60. For my 60th birthday, and I'm still not sure. Because look, collateral damage, Colleen is saying, yeah, I don't want to be collateral damage. I know I'm not the only widow in the world, but I am one of a smaller group of women who lost their husband to violence, to GUN violence, and happened in Jamaica. And it still scares me. I used to think about, and yes, it happens everywhere. And yes, people are going to come and talk about the mass incidents in the US. Yes. And that's why I don't go to the US either. So let us just be clear on that. Okay. I couldn't tell when I've had before I migrated to Canada 22 years ago. I had multiple visas for the United States. I used to be there like every 3 months. I'm scared. I'm scared for you guys. I'm scared. You know, Colleen sent me video or TikTok thing the other day of a guy who moved to Canada, and he did a TikTok telling people why they should not, or they should have doubts about or reasons for not trying to come to Canada to live. And he said Canada is boring. Give me boring every day. Give me boring any day, as against being scared for my life. I am scared for you three life. I'm scared for Colleen's life. Every night before I go to my bed, I say a prayer for you guys. It is not that it can't happen to me here in Canada, but the bottom line is that Jamaica, the land that I love, the land of my birth, the land of my forefathers, well, some of them, is a scary place for me. It is lawless, and it is getting more lawless with each passing day. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. But that is my take on Claudette's story. Jamaica is, if not careful, is going to fall into the abyss of crime. That's how I see it. Clara said I'm the brave one. I don't even want to continue talking about this so much longer, because it just makes me even more concerned for my friends. The three of you sitting here and the rest and the others in Daughters of Sheba Foundation who live in Jamaica. It happens all over the world, but Jamaica is on a slippery downward slope when it comes to crime and violence. Beautiful country, no doubt about it, but the hearts of men. Finish, Claudette, from the Bible. Finish it, Claudette. Come, Claudette. Come.
Desperately wicked.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
move
but
on.
I still have hope. I love
Of
my country. I
course.
still have hope. And as you say, it happens, all over.
All over it happens.
You
But
can't live your life living in fear.
that does not mean it should not be fixed. And
I know.
and you see this attitude on land, it's been the Jamaican diaspora has brought it to social media. I think some of them, them don't have the actual weapon to wipe out people on social media who disagree with them, who have a different lifestyle or whatever. It's a Clara loves this word. It's an inherent thing in some Jamaicans, violence and aggression. And that is what needs. That is the only part I will agree with you when you say about children, Claudette. We need to show the children another model. But who? I mean, ever since we have been doing this, I've been saying that an intervention is needed, and not just with the children.
Let me tell you about a story I read. And it's right in our area, Gloria. I don't know if you saw the story with the young man who is going to camp here.
Please do not say the area.
Okay, sorry. No, I did not say the area, but Gloria knows where I'm talking. And, it was heartening to see it, to see how the community was rallying around him. That one day he was coming from somewhere and the police saw him and grabbed onto him and said, "Boy, where you going?" He was coming from where? The library or somewhere. And people saw it and said, no, he's just coming from the library. This is a good youth. Why are you arresting him? He has done nothing. And they rally around this young man to ensure that he stays on the right path. He's going to a very popular high school. So I see hope, and I'm hoping that this could go even wider in other communities.
Well,
and I'll pray about it too.
Please. Moving on to Claudia's next story, because she see hope and light. So let's talk about the light bills. What's happening with the light bills? For those of you in Canada, the power bill. when I just came to Canada and kept saying the light bill, and some people didn't know what I was talking about, the power bill. What's happening there, Claudette?
Yes. So, like our own, burial affected a lot of person, and even in the areas as St. Elizabeth, who was very badly the worst, right? Their light bill is like out of this world. And so the minister is investigating and telling JPS that they need to look into the billing because you can't blame it on the US dollar going up. You can't blame it on fuel. So how is it you come by these ridiculous bills you're sending out to person who some of them up to now don't even have light? It's ridiculous. So there's an investigation going on because they asked for a concession and they got it. Right? So how are you coming to overcharge or charge persons who didn't have no light?
You know, I
This
migrated
is
from Jamaica 22 years ago. I lived elsewhere for a combined 9 years. So that's 31 years of my life. I did not live on Jamaica, and I'm approaching 60. So this has been the story from Meliade, I mean, me. So what is it he's investigating, really? And I don't mean, and this is not about the JLP or the
I
PNP.
sent you some things, Claudette.
Yeah, I couldn't
Yes,
share it here
yes.
with him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But talk about them. I know you can't see them properly, but can you tell
Right.
us what this story is?
It's for them, for JPS to tell them how they come by their calculations and the, um, the bills they sent out, especially in areas such as St. Elizabeth, who was badly affected. There's a person in Falmouth and Trelawney who probably just got light recently, and yet still they're getting exorbitant bills. What is it? How is it you calculate these bills?
See, Colleen is saying that they added 19,000 Jamaican dollars, which is a rough, just under 200 Canadian dollars to mine this month. Although part of the month we didn't have any electricity due to burial. You
Mm-hmm.
know, for you to be paying, she said that they added, just say 200 Canadian dollars. It's less than 200, but just so for her to say that they added $200 to her bill means that her bill was over $200. Unless you have a mansion, at least in Alberta, or you're running air conditioning and all kinds of stuff, you don't pay that for power. We don't pay that for power. This needs more than an investigation. This needs a complete shakeup. The JPS needs competition. What's this called? The Offices of Utility Regulation, not
Yes. Oh,
regulating
you are.
nothing. Not regulating nothing. I lived and worked with the government when OUR was formed, and we had such high hopes of how. So I'm telling you, this has been going on forever. There were such high hopes back in the day that OUR was just going to take JPS under control and Water Commission. Has it, Clara?
Of course
Well,
not.
every summer,
Hold on, Claudette.
it's
Let's hear
yes,
what
yeah.
Clara and Gloria
Mhm.
has to say about it.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's fine.
So JPS has increased the consumers' light bill on an average of 34%, residential and commercial. And for even those persons who, as we speak, has no power since the 3rd of July.
Hmm.
Make that make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Nobody can make that make sense.
Exactly.
So don't ask stupid questions.
So,
I'm
so
joking, Sarah.
JPS has been caught in the game that they have been playing from forever. It's just that
Forever.
it's a much wider cross section now, because persons have been complaining about JPS from forever.
Forever.
Years ago, I had a personal experience with JPS where I had to.
JPS, folks, is the Jamaica Public Service. It's the only electricity or power company on the island.
Years
No, we
ago,
have
I
another
had
one.
to
You have another one?
go. No, but they sell
it-
to JPS.
Okay.
Okay,
They don't sell to the
Jamaica
public.
private partner, yeah, energy partners.
Mhm.
They sell to JPS. Years
Mhm.
ago, I had to go home, take off my business suit, put on my tights, and wrap my head and go down to JPS office.
Did it help?
Of course it did, because we're going to pretend like my mad. We go and pretend like
You know,
mad.
and when you have to go to that
I went in
lane,
like a mad woman. Eh?
it's crazy. It's crazy. You know, and this is what happens in. Excuse me, if I don't mean anything derogatory by what I'm about to say. This is what happened to poor people. This is what happened to poor. And when I say poor people, I don't mean any of you specifically. I mean, I should say in developing countries. Let me put it that way. This is what happens.
I don't know why they think that they would get away with it for so long.
They don't want to take any losses, so they pass it on to us, the paying customers.
That has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with it. They have not lost anything. One of our celebrities complained bitterly a couple months ago.
Was that Asafa?
He has full
I saw it
solar.
online.
In fact, he sells back energy power to JPS. And he wasn't there for 3 months and came back home to a bill that was 4 times his amount.
And he wasn't there. And he has solar.
He was not there. And the appliances that he had was being run on his solar.
You see, this is why I'm short when I hear things like, we need to teach the children. We need to think of the children. It's not the children, it's the adults and the politicians. It's the politicians.
Them just.
Gloria, have I said anything, any lies?
No, you haven't. Everybody, I concur with everything that you guys are saying.
You concur with me tonight too, Clark, because usually you're telling me, Claudette.
Every summer,
yourself.
when children are on holiday and it's hot, like how it's hot now, they just figure they should just skyrocket the bills them, because guess what? The children them home, they're opening the fridge plenty, they fan them going, this, that, all kind of thing, and them just add on to your bill. Your bill just skyrocket every summer.
It's crazy.
And this year
crazy.
and especially with the burial. And they get a concession.
How are you going to
apply
increase
for a concession and they got
somebody's bill that you have not even produced? You have not produced this service. You mean there's no quality check within JPS that will say why is Treasure Beach in St. Elizabeth getting light bills outside of the $600 or administrative fee that they say once the account is active, that is automatic? Why are those persons' light bills not $600?
It's crazy. Well, ladies, this was a nice one. We covered a range of topics having to do from sports to power bills to health care, to the legal justice system. So I want to thank you very much for another good conversation. And I'm glad that we did the span. We were not just focused on Jamaica, although that's where we ended tonight. And but across the world, women in sports are second-class citizens when it comes to compensation and all of that. Across the world, all of us will be affected if they don't get this mpox thing under control. And all of us, especially us women, in terms of the hygiene practices, need to step up our game to help to stop the spread. Although some Claudette believe that it's the drug companies infecting us. But until we figure that out, all of us, especially the women, the caretakers, need to step up their game until we prove it. All of us as women can take pride in Miss Felix, as Gloria pointed out, and her initiatives and what she has done for women. All of us as women need to ask questions about the legal system and how we as women are being served in the legal system, and if we are getting the proper representation, as women and non-celebrities. I think that our conversation tonight was fulsome and wholesome. And I thank you, ladies, for being with me. And Claudette, thank you for being with us this month. We will see you again, Claudette, in October, God's willing. And we're going to wrap it up here tonight. Please, folks, thank you, Carella, for your saying it was an interesting conversation. Bye, Colleen. Thank you, those of you on YouTube who passed through, who dropped in. Next time when you drop in, please say hi. We're looking forward to chatting with you again Saturday morning when Colleen and I will be live with you on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 9 in Jamaica, and 8 if you're in Alberta. Our conversation will be around relationships. We're fine-tuning, but I will promote that on Facebook. So, ladies, any final words before I wrap this up?
No.
Ladies, fight for what you believe in.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for joining. Bye. Thank you.
All right, Claudia, thank you. Thank you. Go pray for the children.
No, you see, it's not a thing with the children. I'm just saying for the next generation.
I'm just messing with
you. For the
Claudia.
next generation.
I know what you mean. I'm just messing with you.
Okay, blessings. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.